What's up guys, G-Tron here. Today I'm going to share with you how I keep myself disciplined when I need to get stuff done. When I have a goal or a mission, a project, anything that needs to get done, how I keep myself motivated, disciplined, and make sure that I show up every single day. Now, what I do when I create my schedule for the day is I create that at the night before. Not the day of, but the night before. There's a few reasons. One of them is that I don't want to spend my decision-making power, my willpower, the day of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do that day. I want to have everything figured out so that when I wake up, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And my schedule is going to have every minute scheduled in. Literally every minute, I know what I should be doing. So I also put in my eating, sleeping, exercise, and every little task that I have to do that day is minute by minute scheduled in. And it's all, the time is all accounted for because there's only so many hours in a day, and you have to be very aware of how much you can accomplish in a day and be realistic about it so that you're not fighting yourself. You know exactly what you should do and what you can do during the day. You're not thinking wishfully, and you can achieve those goals every single day. And getting it done the night before, it just gives you the chance to visualize the day, how you're going to flow through, and it gives you the chance to also see things that maybe will work better. Not just kind of reacting to the day as it comes, but have the foresight before to do the things that really matter, have the priorities set, and see that, sort of visualize the flow, because there is such thing as like a flow state. You can get into a place where you're more effective, you're more creative, and you're using less energy to achieve more. Sometimes you can even gain energy when you're in this state. You just feel so good. It's almost like you're just tapped into this energy, from elsewhere, right? So that's really good, and you should do that. Sleep schedule is very important, to sleep and wake up at the same time every single day. Set that circadian rhythm in your body. And so eating schedule, sleeping schedule, it sets your body up for like when it's going to reach peak performance and when it's going to take time to regenerate. And this is so critical because if you mess this up, you're going to always feel fatigued. You're not going to have the best mind. You might have brain fog. You might get tired in the middle of the day, like just randomly. It's really, really important to keep this schedule. Your body knows it's on a rhythm, it's on a cycle, and it's releasing all kinds of hormones to regulate that. So you don't want to fight this either. You don't want to be fighting yourself. You want to be in sync with that. The next thing is time restricting. For every task that you have, you should always have a set time restriction and don't go over it. And that's why I said be realistic about your time, because this serves one purpose for me is whenever I'm doing something, I could work on it forever, right? I have to set a time frame, time restriction, time limit, so that I have to release it. At the end of that time, I have to release it. Like sometimes, it happens to me sometimes, and maybe a lot of you too, you could work on something forever. You can just keep working on it forever and ever and ever. You want it to be perfect, but it's never ever gonna be perfect. And this is what my sort of philosophy of you want to push out quality stuff, yes, but you also want to be fast. You want to do things fast. You want to execute fast so that you can get the feedback from the world quicker. And if you have to fail, you'll fail faster. You're just gonna know faster because it could just sit with you forever, and you'll never get that feedback. You'll never know if it's good or bad. So you just want to get it out there in the world, into the wild. Let go. Release that mind, sort of brain bandwidth so you can do other things and, start new projects, start new tasks, but just release it. So that's why I gave myself a timeline for every task during the day. Everything, if it's releasing a video, I give myself 3 hours. I have to think of a way that I can do it in 3 hours. And if it takes like a certain amount of aggressiveness or just focus, a level of focus, then I have to do it in that 3 hours, and I have to reach that sort of level of performance, and I have to prime myself up for that. But everything is sort of visualized in that way. And also it helps to just focus on one thing that you want to accomplish really well. If you can't do everything perfectly, then just focus on one thing that you want to improve for this task this time. right? So when you release it and when you get feedback, you know exactly what the response, the reaction is to the thing that you really focused on, right? So there's this cause and effect that you're more aware of the reasons behind why things are the way they are. So that's really also the mindset thing, just releasing something and being very intentional, I guess is the word, to do that. And also just to focus on one thing at a time. Don't try to do everything at the same time. Just really focus on one thing. Your brain really cannot consciously do everything, like more than one thing at a time. Not well anyways. So if you really want to see what the result is going to be when you release something in the world, you want to be focused 100% on your task. And you're going to not only just do a better job, but you're going to save time. You're going to be more effective. You're going to be able to accomplish things within an hour that if you try to do two things at once, it might take you all day and not even that good. So you can waste a lot of time just doing shitty work. So focus on one thing, 100% focus, like so present to the moment. Get into that flow. It's like a meditation almost. When you're doing that thing and you're so focused and you're putting all of your being into it, it's almost like a meditation in itself. There's an art to doing everything. There's an art to how to pick up this pen and how to hold this pencil and how to push this pencil and how to see the lead coming out 2 millimeters at a time, and you just see how beautifully this machine works, and it's just present to the moment. You know what I'm saying? The way you write and how the words come out on the page, everything, the way I'm speaking, everything can be just a meditation. You want to get to that level of focus, and that's like really when that flow state kicks in, and you can get a lot more done, get better work done, and just have more fun. You're enjoying the process. It's not about the result. It becomes more about enjoying the thing that you're doing right now. And you can do a lot in a shorter amount of time. It's really, really, really key to performing at a high level. And just keeping your discipline as well, because motivation is not very reliable. And if you're just relying on every day to wake up in a proper mood or whatever, you're never going to get anything done, because your life is never going to be perfect. It's always going to be something wrong with it. There's always going to be some, external or internal problem that's going to be sort of causing you to fight yourself a little bit or fight something else that's in the world. But you have to show up, and when you have that discipline, when you have that system in place, when you have this mindset in place and a routine and the way you think about things, then it becomes not about the motivation, like this inspiration that you might have. Inspiration is good because you get this creativity sort of pump, and you get to have these ideas that might be like a glimpse of the things that you can do in the future. But to achieve anything, you want a system. You want to develop like this system where you just show up, and you don't even have to think about it. It becomes almost like you're just executing now, right? So having that daily schedule, having time restrictions, and doing it the night before to set up those schedules. And you just show up, and you don't think about it. It's all there. It's all there, the things you got to do, and you just do it, right? So it's very important. The discipline of that is much more effective. Keeping distractions away, very important. Keep your phone on silent, or don't go on social media, or just even delete social media if you can. I know it's hard, but don't watch the news. Don't put in information that doesn't have any value to you in your head. News, I don't even watch the news. There's so much garbage out there. It's crap. It's completely information that doesn't need to be had. And even if it's like factual, the spin on the story or the emphasis on the story is so whack that it's the wrong narrative. I don't connect to those things, and it's a complete waste of time. Or just ways of procrastinating, if you feel like eating suddenly, or if you feel like you have to clean the room suddenly, or just things that it's so unrelated to the things that you're doing, but your brain is like tricking you into thinking that this is a great thing to do, because your brain is always trying to fight you to not do the thing that requires a lot of work. There's no reward that it sees. The brain doesn't know the reward of long-term things. It only knows how you can get the quickest dopamine hit, essentially. And this is just how we evolved, right? Because back in the day, you had to work really hard, or there was no abundance of all this stimulation that would give us the reward. A brain getting rewarded for having, easy access to food in the fridge, or just calling somebody up and killing time 2 hours talking about whatever. I mean, these things just wasn't available. Now it's because it's so readily available that you're always tricked into doing things that's easier. You never want to do anything that's hard. Your brain is going to trick you to conserve your energy, because back in the day, you had to do that. You had to conserve energy. You weren't just going to reach into the fridge and find food. You had to get out there and hunt. Okay, you had to farm. You had to do work. All right? So be aware of that. Look into dopamine detox if you want. It's gonna really put a perspective on that, like how much distractions are there, and this is going to hurt your discipline. And making decisions quickly, effectively. I talk about decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is just thinking about things forever and not making a decision, and it's taking so much energy to do that. Like, you can't sit around trying to decide to make a decision. It's just too many levels that it's just eliminate those extra steps. Make a decision. Make a decision. Just like we were focusing on one thing, doing something, focusing to make a decision is also important. If you just take 5 minutes, if you need to really think about the pros and cons of things, and like how this decision is going to affect your purpose, your mission, your authentic whatever. Like, think about it, think it through, and make a decision and commit to it, and don't go back and forth. This is going to sink a lot of energy for you, and it's going to slow you down, and you're going to cloud your judgment. You're going to cloud your clarity. Make decisions. Be aware of decision fatigue. Health, nutrition, exercising, and anything where you're taking care of your mind and your body, so key, because you only get one, and this thing has to be your vehicle for the entire life, and you want to keep it in good shape. You have to take care of it, and try to put good nutrients in there, and try to get the best sleep every night, right? So scheduling your sleep is so important. Waking up at the same time every day, right? Going to bed at the same time every day. Try to get like 6-7 hours. I'm good on 7. Max 7 is awesome for me. I usually only get like 5 or 6, but sleep properly, all right? Don't waste time looking at fucking social media. Don't watch a million episodes of Netflix or whatever. Just do what you gotta do and go to bed. And just appreciate, okay? And the last thing is journaling and gratitude and small wins. Journaling is really, really good to reflect on the day, look back and just appreciate that you had this chance to do anything at all today, that we're so lucky that you have this freedom to do that. Appreciate that you're alive, just the fact that you're alive and you have this opportunity to experience life in today and tomorrow, a whole new day that you can go out there and make things happen, and it's infinitely possible, whatever you want to do. It's really up to you, and just that gratitude of having life, journaling is excellent for that. And also, because life can be chaotic and sometimes very, you might have self-doubt, or you have influences from the outside world that's kind of, sidetracking you. It's really good to journal so that you can bring yourself back on your path, right? Self-reflect, take the time to see, am I going the right way? Am I making the right decisions? Like, reflect on those things and bring it back. If ever you're kind of steering away from your course, bring it back to the center, come back into your skin and meditate on it, and then sleep. Sleep on that good feeling that you are aligned again, and that's going to bring that energy out to the next day, and you're going to feel better. You're not going to wake up and be like, have that confusion and this, being not clear about your intention. That sinks so much energy, right? And it kills your motivation. It kills that discipline. So journaling is really good. Gratitude, practicing gratitude, and also stacking wins. I have a notebook like this, small little notebook, and I just write whatever I'm happy that I accomplished, my accomplishments for the day. I just write it out, and it's like I just write it out, and I have stacks of them every day. Every day I have little stacks of wins, and I call them proactive wins, stacked proactivity. And every day you just stack them, and you realize like, wow, like you get through, you're doing a lot. You give yourself a pat on the back, just like you're doing a lot. You're getting stuff done, and just know that you're going somewhere. And every day you make that 0.0 1% improvement, and over the next course of your life, that it's going to amount to something, and you're becoming a better person every day. So this is how I think about discipline. This is how I keep myself on track, and this is how I don't depend on my mood. I just try to keep myself steady, right, on this mindset, and having a system so that I'm guided. I am guided in this path. All right, so important. Okay, hope that was useful for you. I'd love to know how you keep yourself disciplined, some systems and routines or methods and exercises that you do to keep yourself aligned and on your path. I'd love to know. Comment below, subscribe, and hit that like button, as they say. All right, ciao.